Hey adventurers, so today is going to be another book tag. This is the Judge a Book by Its Cover tag. This was created by Madison Goodyear, and I don't think I was actually tagged in by anybody to do this one, except that I saw it going around and I saw Madison Goodyear do this tag originally, and I was like, okay, I really like this tag because it's fun. It's just all about book covers, and I like book covers. So we'll see how it worked, because I stacked the books from question 1 to question 9. Is it? Yeah, question 1 to question 9. And so question 9 are up at the top and question 1 are all at the bottom of the stack. So we'll see how well I'm able to do this without just utter chaos ensuing. But let's get started on this. So question 1, break the ice. Show a few of your personal favorite book covers. So there's a lot of book covers that I actually quite like that I own. In fact, most of them. I could do this entire, probably just about do this entire tag with just Tolkien books, because I have enough Tolkien books that I could do that. But for these, a few of your personal favorite book covers, I only ended up going with one Tolkien book for this, although I could have included a whole bunch of them. And that book is The Story of Kullervo. This is a unfinished story that Tolkien was writing. This is edited by Verlin Flieger. And this is an interesting one because it's kind of a precursor to the Children of Húrin in many ways. It's not really set specifically in Middle-earth, but you can tell there's a lot of inspiration. This is one of his earliest works that he never completed, but he took a lot of what he wrote for this story and used it for other books. Anyways, I just really like the cover of it. It's very simple, very basic. What's the popular word to use right now? Minimalist. Very minimalist cover. It's just a blue something with a yellow top and then a yellow circle with a blue in the center of it. It almost looks like a tree or maybe a person looking at the moon or something like that. And I really like that. The simpleness of it works really well. Let's see. Okay, so on the back of the cover, it's the same image just with more coloring to it. But I don't know why, the cover just looks really nice, and I've only read this story once because it's unfinished, and a lot of it is just his notes compiled to say this is where the story might have gone next, but we don't really know because he never finished writing the story type thing. But it's super short. It's 168 pages with all of the bibliography and everything that's included. So it's super short story, super short book, but I just love the cover. And that was I talked way too long about that, as I'm prone to do when I talk about Lord of the Rings or anything Tolkien. So the next one that I have for this question 1 is actually More Than a Gunslinger by J.R. Carroll. It's J.R. Carroll's booktuber and an author. He's got 2 books out at the moment. More Than a Gunslinger is the second one that he's wrote, and More Than a Vampire is the first one, I believe. Anyways, this one is very busy cover, but I really like it. I like the almost like a coloring page vibe to it. Not really, but it's clearly drawn. It looks like it's drawn. It's got a cool rifle in it, and it's just got the one little tiny splash of color. For some reason, the cover, although it's busy, it works really well for me, and I just really like that cover as well. So the next one that I've got is, for the same question, is Recorder, and actually its sequel, Aberration, by Kathy McCrum. These are science fiction novels that they're space traveling novels, very interesting stories, but the covers themselves are just gorgeous. The orange and the person looking out towards the moons, it's just very well done and very pretty, but then especially Aberration, just the vivid purples and blue greens and everything. It just looks so nice, and I can't help but loving those covers. I could actually use Recorder for one of the later questions in this series, and I'll mention that once I get to it. So, but question 2, what is the absolute best book cover you own? That's a hard one, and I don't know that I have, or that I can say any one book cover is the absolute best cover that I own. I've got a lot of covers that I very much like and that really work well for the stories they're telling. But here are a couple that I feel like I gravitate towards these books specifically because of how the covers and one of those is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Color magic, light magic, those are my favorite, basically my favorite magic systems. If they include color or light somehow, I'm gonna love it most likely. So Warbreaker works very well for me. And then also Inferno Squad by Christy Golden. This is a Star Wars novel based off of some characters that were created for Star Wars Battlefront 2, the video game. And I haven't read this book yet, but I love the cover. I love the destruction, the burning flag, the character just standing there. Characters standing and posing, silhouettes standing and posing, doesn't always work for me, but in this one it does, because of the chaos and destruction that's going on behind her. And so that's just another cover that I think is a very good cover. Alright, question 3. What is the absolute worst book cover you own? This one I have long said I believe this to be the absolute worst book cover I own, and that is The Moment of Truth by, who is this by? Jude Watson? Yeah, Jude Watson. This is Star Wars Jedi Quest book 7. It's about Obi-Wan and Anakin as an apprentice. So stories are fine. I like the stories, I like Star Wars, whatever. But this cover is just bad. It doesn't work. It's like bad Photoshop is what it looks like. And I just can't get over how bad it is. But that's not to say that the book's bad, because I don't think I've actually read that book, but the book's fine, I'm sure. I've read several other of Jude Watson's Star Wars middle grade books, and I like them. Question 4. Show the coolest cover you have that features a weapon. I've got a couple of these, and there's where are they? There's a whole bunch of book covers that I have that feature weapons and that I really like. The two that I decided to go with, because the question specifically says show the coolest cover, and so the cover has to be cool. I went with Dark Disciple by Christy Golden. Yeah, same author as Inferno Squad. I have read this one. I really like this book. It's about Quinlan Vos and Asajj Ventress after. Let's see. Yeah, it's after, or just before the end of the Clone Wars. Actually, I really like the book. I like the story that I was told. I liked Christie's writing, but the cover is just cool. The red color, but with just a hint of green and yellow down there, and more yellow, just like the splashes of color and the way that it works. It's just a cool looking cover, and of course lightsabers are weapons, so that counts. The other one that I've got, because I can't help but loving it, it's Tales from the Perilous Realm by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is a collection of stories of his. There's Roverandom, Farmer Giles of Ham, The Adventures of Tom Bombadil, Smith of Wootton Major, and Leaf by Niggle. And all of these stories are combined into this one book. But this cover, just a massive, beautiful dragon with a little dude and a sword. And because it's got a sword on it, it counts. And it's just a cool cover for me. Alright. Question 5. Show the most unique book cover you have. This is another hard one because I don't know what makes a book cover unique in that way, but one of the ones that I think is is definitely the most interesting is the Wingfeather Saga Book 1 On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness by Andrew Peterson. I don't love these covers. I don't hate them by any means, and when you see all 4 of the book covers together, I really appreciate the art of them and the consistency and the style. But there is an older, when these were originally published, they had a different type of cover, and I really like the original cover style. But this one, it's very unique, it's very unique. The art style, the coloring, the way that everything comes together, the formatting of it, it works, and it actually fits the feel of the story pretty well. But it's not my favorite cover, just because I like the other covers better. Alright, question 6. Do judge a book by its cover. What's a book that totally lived up to how good the cover was, or the cover did a perfect job capturing the vibe of the book? This is one that I could have had a whole bunch of different answers for, and I didn't know what to actually go with for it. And there's a lot of books that, while I might like the cover, I don't feel like the cover fits the book completely, or while I might not like the cover, the book was amazing, or whatever it is. But the one that I ended up going with is Gurzo by Anonymous. I love the story. I don't need to talk about the story on this. I'm supposed to just talk about the covers. But it's just a very pretty cover with just a dragon eye. And that right there gives you a sense of this story. Just the black with a glowing dragon eye. It looks so good. And also without the dust jacket, I've shown this before, but you take the dust jacket off and just show the cover, and it becomes a dragon staring at you. And it's just cool. Yeah, so that's probably my choice for that. Let's put this back on here. All right, what have we got next? Question 7. A book you bought blind simply because the cover was captivating. So all of these are, only one of these is true, and that one I didn't even actually technically write down. But, so let's see, what are my answers? So my answers that I wrote down are The Rune Lords by David Farland, where I saw the cover and I recognized the cover because somebody on BookTube, I'm not entirely sure who it was now, had said something about having this cover and had shown the cover, and I recognized the cover because of that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But I also do like the cover, especially the back page of it. It's just, it looks very nice, and the color scheme of everything, I like it quite a bit. So that's one of them, even though I didn't specifically buy it because of the cover. Here's another one, The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. So this is one where I didn't actually buy this book. I got it for Christmas, I believe, but I did put it on my Christmas list because I liked the cover. I don't know that I'll like the book. Honestly, from what I've heard of it since I got it, and I'm like, I don't know that this one will be for me. But it might be, and I might end up really liking it, but I do like the cover still. And then the last one that I didn't actually write down, that would be Recorder. I put this book on my list because I loved the cover. I thought the cover was gorgeous, and I was like, okay, I'm very intrigued by what this cover says. I read the book, and I really liked the book. The book is one of those few books that I actually felt a kinship with the main character in a way that I rarely feel. And so I did like that book anyways, and I do like the cover. All right. Book 8. Embarrassing book cover. Show a book that was great, but the cover is so cringe. This, I don't really have a great answer for this because most book covers I actually like. I like what they're doing. I like the way that they have done them. There are a few that just don't work for me. The execution of them doesn't work or whatever. And then there are a few that the cover is just bad, but I haven't read the books or I don't own the book, so I don't worry about that. Anyways, the one that I picked was this edition, which is edited and translated by James Winnie, of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I love Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. This is one of the greatest stories. This is probably like a top 3 story for me. And this cover does not do it justice at all. But other than that, it's a great story, great book. Just the cover's a little bit cringy. And question 9, show off your special editions and fancy books. I don't actually have that many special editions. One of them that I am supposed to have is Brandon Sanderson's Secret Project #1, which is Tress of the Emerald Sea. I haven't received my copy yet of this book, but it is on its way. It's going to be very pretty. I'll do an unboxing video if I ever get my box. When I get my box, I should say, because I will get it. But other than that, I don't have a ton of special editions. The first ones, or the ones that I do have, you probably won't be too surprised by this, but I've got The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is an illustrated edition of The Hobbit, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's got these beautiful, beautiful illustrations all throughout. Here's one of Hobbiton. One of my favorites. Where's it at? I know what chapter it is, I just have to find the exact spot of it. Oh, there it is. This one of the trolls, this illustration of the trolls. I love this image. I love the art style. Just, it's so nice. Okay, good, I did stop. Anyway, so that's one of my hardcovers, special edition, illustrated edition, whatever you want to call it. Very, very pretty, nice books. Let's see, what else have I got? Oh, imagine that. I have The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is another one, beautiful illustrated edition, got tons of illustrations all throughout this book. Let's see, where's one of them? That's just the original cover of The Two Towers right there. I don't know how well you can see that. What else have we got? Just find me a random picture. Orthanc. There's a nice drawing. These are all illustrations that Tolkien himself did, which is part of why I love them. So there's illustrations all throughout this book. Absolutely love this special edition. And I have read it as well. So the next special edition I have is the Silmarillion, also illustrated by the author. This is a J.R.R. Tolkien book. This is one that just came out last year, the end of last year, and I got it for Christmas, and I'm very excited. I'm gonna have to reread this book because I gotta reread it with the illustrations. So I haven't actually read this edition yet, but it's got illustrations all throughout as well. Just try and find something here. There's one, Untitled Frieze of Trees. You just see some trees there. He's got, at the beginning of all the chapters, he's got these little chapter headers that are very pretty that he's drawn. Try and find one. I don't know, where's this at specifically? What chapter is this? Void of Air and Dealing the War of Wrath. Okay, so this is, I don't know, but Water, Wind, and Sand is the title of that piece. It's just pretty. Illustrations, I love them, and I love when seeing Tolkien's illustrations. I have a book that is a whole bunch of his illustrations. Not all of them, because there's some in that Silmarillion that are not in that book, and there's even some in Lord of the Rings that aren't. But just absolutely love those. And then the only other kind of special editions that I have are these nice leather-bound editions of Jack London, Tales of the North, and Stories of Adventure. And these are collections of his books. So Tales of the North has White Fang, The Sea Wolf, Call of the Wild, The Cruise of the Dazzler, plus 15 short stories, and then Stories of Adventure has The Game, plus 46 short stories, including Brown Wolf, The Sundog Trail, 7 Tales of the Fish Patrol. So these are just very nice. I saw these at a bookstore, and I'm just like, I can't pass that up. I've actually only read Call of the Wild by Jack London so far, and I know that I need to read more of his books. Because I loved Call of the Wild. I'm sure I'll love White Fang. I don't know why I haven't read more of these. Actually, I do know why. It's because I don't take the time to read them. I really want to, but I love this set. It's just a very pretty book set. So those are all my special editions that I have, or my fancy books. And yeah, I've got several books that are signed, including, let's see, where is it at? Including Gurzel. I've got that signed by Anonymous. Awesome enough to send me his book and sign it. But that's really all that I've got. I don't have a whole ton of fancy books yet. I love that I've got Silmarillion, Lord of the Rings, and The Hobbit, though. That just makes me happy. I'm just waiting for them to do Unfinished Tales now, because that's the next one that they've got to do a nice illustrated edition for. Thank you guys for watching an Erudite Adventure. I won't be tagging anybody in this video just because I don't know who's done this tag. If you haven't done this tag and you want to, consider yourself tagged. We'll do it that way. Very fun tag. It's always fun just to look at art and book covers and just to see what works and what doesn't, and what you think is pretty, and how people's opinions differ. I have some other book cover stuff on this channel, actually. Maybe I'll create a playlist of all my book cover videos, because I think I've got 4 or 5 of them at this point. Anyways, thank you guys for watching an Erudite Adventure. We post videos every Monday and Thursday. We have our social medias linked in the description down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you guys again soon. Stay warm.